Hey, this is Trey. Today I'm releasing an all-new version of Film Workshop for ReShade. And what this allows you to do is basically run Film Workshop on pretty much anything that ReShade supports. Those of you that may remember Film Workshop from my Fallout 4 modding days will remember that it's an interesting tool that allows you to sort of emulate the process of capturing footage on film in a camera, color grading that, and then sending that out to a print stock. So it's like this interesting stacking kind of method of color grading, which I think is pretty unique. And hopefully it's a lot of fun for those of you that are seeing it for the first time. You can get Film Workshop for free just by following the link down below in the description to my Patreon page. No donation required. But if you'd like to get access to some of the upcoming Film Pack expansions for patrons, feel free to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But again, it's not necessary. You can get Film Workshop for free right now just by going to my Patreon page, clicking on the post, and downloading the link. Anyway, let's get into how to use this thing. When you first open up Film Workshop, it's going to look something like this. You'll probably want to go to Film Setup first. First thing you want to do is take a look at the negative stock. And this basically gives you your initial look. So you can see here as I cycle through them, they each have a different look to them. And of course you can bypass that completely. The first thing you want to do, once you've decided on a film combination, you'll select your negative stock here. Let's go for 5203, and let's cool off the print a little bit. That got a little bit dark, but that's okay. We can compensate for that by boosting the exposure a little bit. Be careful with this, don't push it too much. You can start to clip things, but you have a little bit of headroom. Once we've done that, we can start tweaking the look of things. Let's say we wanted this to look a bit warmer. Well, that's easy. We can go over here to the negative temperature and tint. Just a quick rundown of what negative and print means. The negative is the film that you would capture in camera, and then the print is the film that the theater would get, if that makes any kind of sense. So we've got negative temperature and tint, but also down here you got print temperature and tint. So this is your film print stock, this is your film negative stock. And the settings are pretty much the same for both, but you have control over each one individually. So we're going to go to temperature and tint, and this little tooltip is telling us that the box on the left controls temperature, the box on the right controls tint. So that would be temperature and tint. Temperature, basically, if you slide to the right, you get a warmer look. Slide to the left, you get a colder look. And tint, slide to the left, you get tinted green. And slide to the right, and you get a magenta tint. So you can use these in conjunction like this. So maybe we want to warm this off. And then we tend a little bit toward green to make the reddish glow go a little bit more yellow, right? And so right away we've kind of created a mood there. And maybe we want to offset that a little bit by cooling down the print and tinting it a little bit away from green. So let's move around a bit. Now you'll notice this is quite bright, and that's because we boosted that exposure earlier. So, pull it down just a little bit so that things aren't crazy looking. One thing I'm noticing is after all of our adjustments, things are looking a bit drab. What can we do about that? Well, we can go to the grade section and we can boost up the saturation a bit. But maybe I'm finding that this is just a bit too yellow. So all I need to do is go back to the film setup. We can back off on some of this warming, like so. Let's go back to the grade. Push saturation just a bit. And I think I'm going to cool off the midtones just a little. Handy little tip here. When you click on these squares, this little widget will pop up, but you can right click here and it'll give you an option to go to this circular widget here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cool off the midtones by just going to click and drag this wheel around to where I'm in the blue. Now you can click this dot and move this around, but I find it a little easier to operate these three sliders on the bottom. First one controls the hue, but I tend to just drag this around. Second one is saturation, and then this last one is brightness. Once I've found the color that I want, let's cool off the midtones a bit. And we've got a nice quick toggle in the color grading section here that we can just do like a quick A/B, just click and drag. That's looking pretty nice, but maybe we went a little too heavy there. So let's back off on that just a little bit. There's also a grade blend function that you can slide here. So if you find that you kind of like the general mood, but maybe you want a little heavy-handed on it, you can just do this and mix in the perfect amount. I'm going to go ahead and reset it. Also here, Mojo slider. It's basically teal and orange on a slider. So as I push it, you start getting that teal and orange push. And we can bump the saturation a bit. And again, I'm finding it's a bit warm from our changes above. So what we can do, instead of doing this, let's go back to film setup and we'll reset the temperature and tint options. And now we have a much more neutral image to work with. And so you can better see the Mojo slider doing its thing. So I'll just crank saturation right up to 200%. And then pull back on the grade blend a little bit until we get something that looks a little more natural, maybe a bit more. And I find this is a really intuitive way to work. So that about covers it for this quick overview of Film Workshop ReShade Edition. If you have any questions, you can join my Discord server, which is linked also down below. And there will be periodic tutorial videos posted here on this YouTube channel. Anyway, I guess that's all I got to say about it, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and have a great day. Bye.